Hey folks, welcome back to Boss Labs. My name is Ben. You probably recognize this face from some of the other tutorials, but today I'm not here to talk tech. I'm here to talk bread. Now, you might be saying to yourselves, Ben, bread, it's been done before. Well, I'm here to tell you, yeah, and we're gonna do it again. So follow me to my kitchen. Here's the ingredients you're gonna need. Flour, eggs, salt, oil, 1 cup of warm water, sugar, and the most important, yeast. Step 1, activate your yeast. Now, to do this, you're gonna need a few things. 1, a packet of yeast. 2, a cup of warm water. 3, a pinch of sugar. Now add all these ingredients into the bowl, give it a light stir, and you should see your yeast foam up very shortly, in just a couple of minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Now, if you don't see your yeast foaming up, it could very well be that your yeast is dead. Yeast is a living thing and can die on you, and if your yeast is dead, it might leave your bread just a little flat. Step 2, your dry ingredients. That's your flour, your sugar, and your salt. Mix those into a large mixing bowl and make sure they're well blended. Great, so your dry ingredients are blended, your yeast is activated, and your eggs, they're ready for cracking. It's time to put it all in one bowl, baby. So you start with just cracking your eggs and dropping them in the flour. 2. Once you have your eggs in, it's okay to start stirring just a little bit while you then add in the yeast mixture. Now at this point, it's gonna get a little bit clumpy, and eventually that's when we start having to get our hands dirty. Now as you can see, it's starting to get a little bit tougher to use the spoon. So as you're getting to this point, it's okay to start transitioning to your hands. Now, if your dough is starting to look a little dry, it's always okay just to add just a little pinch, little teaspoon of water. As I get to this point in the kneading process, I usually tend to add the oil. Now, a lot of people add it a little bit sooner, but in the terms of making this particular bread, I found that adding the oil in the kneading process hasn't given me bad results. So I usually just drop that in there when it's just a little bit dry still, and then continue to knead. Your ingredients are mixed, your dough is kneaded. Now it's time to sit back and let it rise. So, I'm making 2 loaves today. So I split my dough in half and I put it into 2 separate 8-inch bread pans. So what I usually do before I put it in is I coat the pan with a little bit of olive oil, and then I also coat the loaf itself. As it rises, it'll expand a little bit, but the oil keeps it from sticking to the edges, so you don't have any issues when you're baking the bread. The dough will need to rise for at least an hour to an hour and a half, or at least until it doubles in size. Once it reaches that point, it'll be ready for an egg wash and a pop into the oven. At this point, we're pretty much ready to pop them right in the oven. I usually like to do a little sprinkle of sesame seeds on them, just as a nice little final garnish. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees and let them bake for 35 minutes. Until the tops are nice and golden. "35 minutes later, you're left with 2 loaves of bread in an apartment that smells amazing. You can go ahead and pair this bread with your favorite jam, or maybe just a little bit of butter for a great midnight snack. Anyways, I'm Ben for Boss Labs. Thanks for joining us today. We'll talk to you soon.